Prasad?
I'm very pleased to be here, and I bring greetings from the Honorable Prime Minister and the government to this very, very important gathering and the discussion that will follow. I think the theme that you have chosen today, the discussions that you are going to have, is at the very core of effective governance, inclusive and sustainable development of any nation. The vital role of women's leadership and governance transformation. And I want to take this opportunity to congratulate the Executive Director and all of you involved in this. I've been very honored and pleased to interact with Vani. Government appointed her to be on our Fiscal Review Committee, and I'm very impressed with the leadership that those women provide to the government. And as a government, the Prime Minister has said, and we have said all along, that we want to work with our partners outside of government, because we believe that a lot of knowledge, wisdom, and ideas reside outside of government, in our people, and especially with our women, our daughters, our mothers, our grandmothers. And let me just say that I recall my own growing up in a settlement in Tuketi. And I remember we had a family of 13, 7 brothers and 6 sisters. And my mother and my elder sisters, my mother was not educated, but she, if I recall, worked for 16 hours a day. They make sure that all their children ended up getting the right education. But the role of women in my family, starting from my mother and my 5 elder sisters, only one is younger than me. All the other 5 are older than me. And the amount of leadership that I have seen from them over so many years is just amazing. And even today, my elder sister, one of my elder sister lives in Lutoka, Nandi, and they still call me every now and then to find out how I'm doing, if I'm eating well, if I'm looking after myself. And today, I feel that the whole global scenario has changed. I think there is a global shift in the trends towards the attitudes towards our women, towards our daughters and mothers. And more, globally, if you look at the sentiments, more and more there is realization and there is preference now to have more daughters, more sisters, mothers to be around, because the care, the leadership that they provide is just beginning to feel and understood by all our people, and especially men. And we all know that both globally and here in Fiji, women have proven to be essential in shaping our communities, driving economic progress and strengthening resilient societies. But yet, their significant decision making and contributions, women's involvement in leadership and decision making, as Vani said, remains a challenge that requires ongoing deliberate attention. And this persistent gap is more than just a matter of gender disparity. It is a critical issue of governance that calls for united and sustained effort from all of us. In 2024, women in Fiji held only 25% of board director positions, a commendable increase from 20% in 2021, but still falls far short of the Pacific regional average of 26%. In the political arena, women's representation in Fiji's parliament stands at a mere 9.1%. We have some fantastic, capable women in parliament. I have two in my own party, Honorable Sashi Kiran and Honorable Lenora Geragere Tambur. And I tell you, they are very powerful women. They work very hard. They are at the front line of promoting women's leadership, women's issues. And we are very pleased that we have others there as well, including Honorable Alitia Venibalu and Honorable Linda Tumbuyo. As a government, as our Prime Minister has said, commits to building a Fiji where women's leadership is not an exception but a norm. The women's leadership pipeline developed is through deep reflection of the experiences and aspirations of women's leaders within Fiji's District Council of Social Services networks. And I think it represents a transformative journey, a continuous process that nurtures and elevates women's leadership across interconnected stages, guided by a holistic and culturally rooted approach, and relied on strong foundation of volunteerism, solidarity, civic engagement, empowering women to lead from where they stand. The strategic framework focuses on strengthening confidence, networks and ecosystems necessary for women's progress from local leadership roles to positions of national influence. And central to this is the dedication to power sharing and fostering partnerships with male colleagues as equal leaders. And this vision aligns very closely with the coalition government's ultimate priority of building inclusive governance structures that truly reflects the diversity of our nation. In the 2025-2026 budget, we have made, Vani said, allocations to support the implementation of the National Action Plan, gender-based violence against all women and girls. In addition, we are investing $4.1 million to promote gender equality and empowerment of all women and girls in Fiji through multiple initiatives and programs. These are not isolated actions. They are the results of deliberate effort to ensure that women are not only included, but meaningfully empowered to lead at every level of the nation. Let me also say that apart from the allocation in the Ministry of Women, Social Protection, and we have a number of other allocations right across different ministries. So within agriculture, we have support, grant mechanisms, subsidies, and an emphasis on engaging women farmers, women entrepreneurs. We have the Ministry of Trade and Commerce. There are a number of grant mechanisms, allocations to support our women. We have within the Ministry of Youth Affairs a number of allocations, very big allocations for allowing women's participation at the village level, at the district level, and at the divisional level. So what I would suggest, Vani and all the leaders in these organizations, and we will be putting out a citizens budget after the budget debate is over, so that, and I know Vani knows about it, which will also allow you to see the different allocations. Sometimes there is a lot of allocations, but our women, our people are not necessarily aware that they can access this. And I hope that your organization will support the implementation or the ability of our women to access those funds, those grants that are there with documentation, applications, and the support. We are very clear about gender equity and the empowerment of women that have been mainstreamed through Fiji's National Development Plan 2025-2029 and Vision 2050 as a cross-cutting priority within the nation's development agenda. And thank you again, Vani and everybody else who helped in the formulation of the National Development Plan. As I said in Parliament, this plan that we have done is probably one of the most consulted, comprehensive National Development Plan, which puts together a 3-year, a 5-year, and a 2050 vision, so that we as a country, regardless of who is in government in the next 10 years or 15 years or 20 years, that there is a very clear goal, there is a very clear focus of where we want to take this country. And part of that journey to take or to achieve that vision 2050 is the role of our women and the leadership that they can provide in achieving that vision of making Fiji a high-income country by 2050. We are obviously trying very hard, and we should work harder to increase women participation in parliament, increase women participation in board directorship, and in public and private sectors, as well as stronger women participation in district advisory councils and villages. Gender responsive budgeting, again, that's part of our broader commitment to inclusive governance. And we have taken concrete steps to mainstream gender into public finance through gender responsive budgeting, which ensures that budget allocation is done with a gender lens, where we are able to look at where we can provide funding in the budget that will translate policy commitments to measurable and concrete outcomes that meets the distinct needs of our women and girls. Last year we launched the gender responsive planning and budgeting manual. That was considered to be a milestone under the Public Financial Management Improvement Plan. And this provides very clear guidelines or guidance to ministries and agencies on how to apply gender lens in budget planning and monitoring process. And this initiative embeds gender considerations in the fabric of our fiscal architecture. Strengthening women's leadership through financing. We are continuing to reform our acts, laws, and legislations. We are mindful that the institutional structures reflect the diversity and strength of both men and women, and reforms truly reflect inclusive governance across all levels of decision making. And as part of Fiji's electoral reform journey, we aim to enhance women's participation within the political landscape by creating equitable pathways for women to engage in democratic processes. We are also working in close collaboration with the private sector, including regional and international organizations, to deliver innovative solutions that create sustainable pathways for women leadership and empowerment across sectors. The budget that we delivered last week, on last Friday, does include, as I said, across the different ministries, allocations that our women and girls can access and use it to build their own economic strength, their leadership strength, and ensure that the broader benefits of those allocations are felt by them at all levels. So, all I want to do on behalf of the government is to very clearly reaffirm our commitment to strengthening the institutions, the budgeting process, the allocation, to ensure that we address a number of institutional, a number of issues affecting our women and girls in this country. We have provided $10 million direct allocation to address the scourge of increasing HIV/AIDS in the country. We have embarked on a journey to provide additional police officers We've allocated in the first phase additional 19 million to ensure that we recruit about 1,000 police officers. We want police visibility and police presence in our communities, and work with community leaders to ensure that the gender-based violence, violence against women, violence against children is addressed immediately and urgently. We are also making sure that the budgetary allocation to empower our women is communicated properly and in an extensive way so that the benefits can be derived directly by our women. We are very confident as a government that we are on the right path, and we want to work with all women's organizations, everyone that is involved, whether it's the Fiji Women's Crisis Center, whether it's Fiji Women's Rights Movement, whether it's FCOSS, whether there are small mothers clubs, village organizations. We want to work with all of them. We want to empower all of them so that they become a force in making sure that our women and our girls do not get affected by these social ills in the country. I want to take this opportunity to thank all those women leaders throughout the country in various organizations for their leadership, for their steadfast commitment, despite all the institutional constraints, to keep talking about these issues, keep raising these issues with government and those that are involved in making sure that we support them with appropriate policies. So thank you once again for the invitation, and I'm very pleased to be here this morning on behalf of the government, on behalf of the Honorable Prime Minister, and I wish you well in your deliberations today, and I look forward to the outcomes and what you advocate after. Thank you.